Hey guys, I'm popping in here with a unexpected review that I'm filming during the middle of the week. Now, usually, I film most of my reviews on the weekends. I watch stuff and I cram all the reviews into the weekend when I have plenty of time to do them. But this one today comes unexpectedly because my wonderful wife surprised me once again. Yes, we like to spoil each other. And she picked up for me Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the new prequel. Just hit Blu-Ray and DVD on Tuesday. So, yeah, I was very anxious to get this. I always wanted to see it in a theater. Didn't get a chance to, like what happens with a lot of movies. Heard great things about it, so I was really anxious to check it out. Now, this tells the story of Will Rodman, played by James Franco. He works at this genetics lab, and he has come upon this new breakthrough medicine, which it can be like the cure to Alzheimer's. And basically they've been trying it out on these chimpanzees, and there's this one that they had a lot of success with. And basically he's having a meeting, him and his crew's having a meeting with these investors, trying to sell the product. And during that time, the chimpanzee that they're talking about comes bursting into the room, just going crazy, going ape shit, literally. So, everything falls through. So, Will is really crushed over it and isn't sure what to do from here. Now, the chimpanzee that I was talking about there has a baby chimpanzee named Caesar. Will decides to take Caesar and keep Caesar. And also, Will's dad, Charles, which is played by John Lithgow, he has Alzheimer's really bad. He's really bad off and getting worse by the day. So, Will takes some of the medication that they're experimenting with, takes it home, and has great results. Like his father completely rehabilitates and, shows great signs, of improving. And but then he very dramatically falls off again, and it causes the process to get even worse once he regresses into the Alzheimer's. All this time, Will keeps Caesar, and he takes him to this big like forest area and lets him play and stuff, and he keeps him for like 5 years. Well, then something happens to where Caesar has to end up going back. They take him back to the lab, and they decide they're going to keep him there and run tests and do all this stuff. And it's basically the build-up for the story. And at this point, the animals that they're experimenting on, they become very intelligent. I mean, like much more advanced than what chimpanzees already are. And they begin to communicate with each other and basically, form an army, and they're gonna, break out of this, this prison that they're in this genetics lab. And that's your basic setup for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Now, guys, I really didn't have a whole lot of interest in seeing this movie. Like I grew up with the films, the old films. I grew up with them, watched them when I was little. But like, the Tim Burton movie, I didn't care for that at all. And like hearing about this, I was like, whatever. But then I started hearing good buzz about it, and that's where my opinion changed. I'm like, okay, well maybe there is something to this. I want to see. This is an unexpected huge hit this summer. And, a lot of trusted opinions said, give it a go. So, after got it and checked it out, I gotta say, man, I was surprised by it. This movie really surprised me at how good it was. I mean, it is a sad film, definitely. I mean, if you have a heart for animals, this is definitely a sad film and hard to take in. I mean, without spoiling anything, it does have a redeeming value to it, but it is a very hard film to take. That shows a lot of abuse to animals and mistreatment to animals, and there's a believability factor to it. But I think the reason why this film had so much success and people could relate to is because there's a very strong human element to this film, and it would be very easy for, you know, the chimpanzees to come off as cheesy and, you know, come off in the wrong light and just not work. But thankfully I can say that it works, and it works very well. You know, Alan Serkis, who he played the gorilla in King Kong, and most notably he played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings series. Well, he plays Caesar, the main chimpanzee in this, and I gotta say, this is definitely one of the best renderings, CG renderings of a character that I've ever seen, to where you really feel the real and raw emotion of this character. Like, his acting is so good in this. This guy is definitely one of the best creature actors of our time. You know, it's pretty amazing how they pulled it off. You know, they actually had, you know, had him in a suit and it had the dots on it and stuff, and of course they rendered the ape over top of him. But, you know, they're in the extras, there's side-by-side comparisons of, you know, his face and the final rendering of what you see on the screen, and they actually have his emotions down on this ape or this chimpanzee very, very well. It's really amazing at how well it works, and that's one of the reasons why this film works so well. You know, and it's pretty absurd to think of apes taking over mankind. I mean, it's a very absurd notion, but it's played very well, and it's very believable in the aspects that you're given in this story. You know, it's sure, it's a stretch, everything's a stretch, but, you know, it's part of the, you know, thing you do with movies, is there's a certain suspension of belief, and you know, as long as it's plausible within the story you're given, and that's what makes it really work here also. There's a very good build to the story, I thought. You know, it's not just like, you know, they're experimenting with these apes and all of a sudden, you know, they just start going crazy and breaking out. No, there's a good, slow, gradual build to things, like the relationship between Will and Caesar. You feel that it's real. You know, there's a love, there's a compassion there. You know, Will treats Caesar like he's his son, you know, and it comes off as very real. And I thought one of the most awesome scenes in this movie is when they're showing, you know, out in the forest where Will's letting Caesar play. You know, he's swinging around these limbs and shit and going all around, and all of a sudden, you know, it's sunny, then he swings around a limb and it's raining, and he swings around another limb and he's a little bit older, and then when he lands on the ground it says 5 years later. It's like, through him swinging through the trees, it's showing the progression of his years very quickly, but it's really cool how they did that. I really like that. You know, you really get to know all of the characters well in this, you know, human and primate. You know, like all of the apes, when they're, you know, in the cells, you know, they're very advanced. They know sign language, and through communicating with each other, you know, you get to see another side of them where, you know, you're seeing like their relationship, you know, the animal's relationship, not connected to a human, and it's very different. There's one specific scene in this, I think, that's a defining emotional moment, and that really clicks with the story. You know, I think it really makes everything fall into motion, is where Caesar is taken back to the lab and has to stay there, where Will has to leave him. It's that moment where Caesar realizes that he's been duped. He's stuck. He's going to be staying there, and you know, it's a sad moment. You know, and it's just wild how well it works. I mean, the acting, again, the acting by Andy Serkis is just so great, and I think that's what really makes the whole story click. Because, like I said, there's a very fine line there where this could come off as extremely cheesy and not work at all. But, you know, because of scenes like this in specifically, it works, and it works very, very well. You end up caring for the characters, or the animals, more than you do the actual characters, the human characters in the film. It's awesome how they do that, and that's another thing where it could very easily not work, but it does very well. And there's just, you know, this isn't really an action film. It's more dramatic in a lot of ways, but there is one scene specifically with the Golden Gate Bridge towards the end that is just an awesome action scene. It has a great setup to it, and the payoff to it I thought was very awesome. I really liked it a lot. Now, you know, not all things, like with any movie, are great with this. I thought, you know, this could very easily be considered a 110-minute long PETA commercial. Now, you know, I'm not meaning any offense to anybody out there that supports PETA. You know, I think, you know, there are good and bad. I think that they take things a little over the top. That's just my opinion. But some of the things in this just came off as overly preachy as far as, you know, animal rights and stuff like that. There were times where it's just like, okay, you know, we get it. You don't have to keep pushing that and pushing that, you know. I thought it, you know, it was a little bit overuse of the social commentary there. And, you know, the CG actually in this, you know, it works most of the time. You know, for it being completely rendered, you know, chimpanzees over top of a human actor, it actually works because, you know, all of their movements, you know, are actually the humans' movements that were acting it out. It's very fluid, it's very realistic, and you know, I give it to Weta Workshop once again. They did the effects on this, you know, and if you're not familiar with the name Weta, you know, they did the first thing I saw that they did that I was really impressed with was The Host, a Korean film, which takes place mostly during the day, and it's a big, huge creature. You know, and it looks so real. And then, you know, of course, the Lord of the Rings movies they did. I'm pretty sure they did the King Kong. They've done a lot of really great effects work, and this is no exception. It looks very good for the most part. Now, there are times where there's a lot of them, a lot of the chimpanzees, apes and stuff, all in one scene, and gorillas, where it's kind of comes off as, man, I don't know about that, you know, but the vast majority of it works very well. You know, and I think that this film, you know, some people would probably say, okay, in the end, you know, the apes, what you know, wasn't really a rise of the apes, you know, but I think that was done for a reason. This film wasn't projected to be a hit, and I think that they purposely just did it the way they did, to where if the movie failed, they could have just left it, you know, as a standalone film. Well, now that this film has been a huge success, it's primed and ready for another sequel. Like, you know, they're saying that this is a prequel to the original 1968 Charles Heston Planet of the Apes. Well, there is a gap there, definitely, and you know, it's hard to not spoil anything. I'm trying my best not to spoil anything here for those of you that haven't seen it, but there is a definite gap between the end of this film in the beginning of that film. I'll leave it at that, and there's definitely room for more, and I think, like I said, it was done on purpose. So there's definitely room for, you know, a, whatever you want to call it, Rise of the Planet of the Apes 2, which, you know, whatever. But guys, the film itself, I give this an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a highly enjoyable film with a really strong and solid story. I see why it's a hit. And, you know, it's something I enjoy vastly, and it's something I'm probably actually going to watch it again tonight. You know, it's a movie I watched last night. It's like, man, you know, I thought about it all day, and it grew on me. The more I thought about it, the more I liked it, you know. So, yeah, 8 out of 10 for this. Now, the picture quality on this, it looks really, really good. It's a very strong and solid picture. You know, like a lot of the detail up close with the apes and animals, when you're real up close, there's a lot of fine hair detail on the face, and the lines in the face is all very good. I thought all the scenes, like in the forest, worked very well. You know, there's a lot of fast scenes in between limbs and moving between trees. Everything's very crisp and clear. There's another scene where the apes are going down a main stretch of road in San Francisco, and it's during the day, and it's in the summertime. All these, you know, the leaves are full of life on the trees, but because of all of them going down through the trees, a bunch of leaves start falling all at once, you know, and everybody's just like, what the hell's going on? That scene looks really awesome in high def, like very crisp leaves and everything, and just good fine detail in the daylight and nighttime alike. So picture quality, guys, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's definitely just fantastic looking, and all the stuff on the Golden Gate Bridge looks really, really good. Yeah, so 9 out of 10 as far as picture quality. Extras on this, guys, there's quite a bit. I'm really surprised that, you know, first time out, you know, they didn't try to get people with a double dip. First time out of the gate, this looks really good as far as the extras go. There's Rise of the Planet of the Apes in high definition. You have 11 deleted scenes, which I didn't even watch the deleted scenes because usually they're deleted for a reason. I just didn't get a chance to go through them. The genius of Andy Serkis. That's where, you know, they talk about how good of a character actor he is, and you know, they get some good interview footage with him talking about how, you know, he's done it so many times, he knows, you know, like a cutoff point with his acting, like, you know, what's going to be added in, like, you know, between him and the digital effects crew, it was pretty seamless. Like he knew where to stop with things and not take it too far. A scene breakdown, just basically showing how they film a scene. Like it showed, like, you know, the very first photography taken, then with a little bit of digital effects, then the final with all the effects added over top of it and stuff like that. A new generation of apes, you know, basically talking about how, you know, this is a prequel and telling how it was tied in. Pretty sure this is the one where it talks about how they tied in a lot of things with the original film. There's little subliminal things here and there, like even with the medicine, it's called APX 112 or something. Like that 112 is actually the running time of the original film, just like little subliminal things they put in there, and how certain characters and situations that are alluded to in the original Charlton Heston film are brought into this one and shown in the reality. And then we have breaking motion capture boundaries. I can't remember exactly what that was, to be honest with you. The Great Apes, that's showing all of the known apes and all of the ones, you know, that are characters in the film. Mythology of the Apes, that's talking about, I'm pretty sure that's breaking down, like it says, the mythology of the apes, and like the more, I think, with the different characters of the film, the apes. Composing the score with Patrick Doyle. I don't remember watching that. I don't think I caught that part either. And then there was audio commentaries with the director and writers, character concept, art gallery. So quite a bit here, guys, but none of these, unfortunately, were very long. I think the longest running one was like 10 minutes. So as far as extras go, I give it a 5 out of 10. I was hoping for a little bit more in-depth stuff. I'm sure there's a lot here, a lot of different ones, but there's not a lot of depth to them, so only 5 out of 10. Now I want to quickly show you up close this slipcover. I think this slipcover is really awesome, so I want to give you a look up close real quick. Okay guys, so I really wanted to show this to you up close. It has a really nice matte finish here all around the outside, and you have embossed glossy letters. A nice embossed face. You can feel all the font, the detail, the lines, the nose, the eyes, and the eyes are the most dramatic thing on this, I think, to me. They just glow. I mean, check that out. And it's cool how, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but you look at it one certain way and they look normal, and then you turn it towards the light and you just get that nice glow to them. I thought that was really awesome. Really cool slipcover. Just beautiful. It's, you know, it's all matte finish on the back. Got a nice view there of the Golden Gate Bridge scene, and then Will and Caesar together there in the forest. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best slipcovers this year. I mean, it's pretty simplistic overall compared to some of the other ones, but it's just absolutely amazing looking. You know, for all you slipcover fans, this is definitely one to have. So now we'll get back to the overall score. So okay guys, that is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I hope you check it out. You know, I hope those of you that were skeptical like me will give this a chance. You may be surprised, you may not, you know. But yeah, again, I really enjoyed this. Overall, it's a great package with the DVD, the Blu-ray, the digital copy, the nice slipcover. So overall, guys, I give this an 8 out of 10. And highly recommend checking it out. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I appreciate you all watching, and later this week I will have reviews coming up for Christmas Evil, and I'm trying to think what else I did. I did another one, but whatever. But you'll see it coming up soon. Oh yeah, The Last Circus, that's the other one I have coming up. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm Jason. Thanks for watching. Hope you all are having a good week. Later.